Now let's talk about Amazon CodeGuru. And this is a machine learning powered service that will do two things. Number one is automated code reviews, and number two is application performance recommendations. So when developers push their code, there is usually another developer that does a code review. And then when the code is deployed into production, you need to be able to monitor the performance of your code, and maybe you'll detect bugs by looking at the performance. So CodeGuru does that in an automated fashion. So CodeGuru Reviewer is here to do automated code reviews with static code analysis. So that means when you deploy your code onto a repository, for example, code commit or GitHub, then the code guru can have a look at all the lines of code and then can give you actionable recommendations in case it detects a bug or a memory leak or something that it has seen before. So because of this machine learning capability, it can detect bugs before even other reviewers detect them, which is very helpful. And then CodeGuru Profiler is going to be here to give you visibility or recommendations about your application performance during runtime, so in production. So when you build and test your application, CodeGuru Profiler is already going to detect and optimize the expensive lines of code pre-production. And then when you deploy your application, you're going to measure your application in real time. And CodeGuru Profiler, yet again, is going to identify performance and cost improvements in production and give you these recommendations directly in your code. So this is the whole power of CodeGuru. So if we do a deep dive, CodeGuru Reviewer really looks at your commits. So whenever you push your code and tells you the lines of code that are probably wrong. So it could be very, very handy. So you can identify critical issues, security vulnerabilities, and hard to find bugs. So for example, you can implement coding best practices. You can find resource leaks, do security detections in case you're creating a security hole, or input validation. The way it does it is using machine learning and automated reasoning. And how does it do it? Well, there are code reviews that were analyzed by CodeGuru across thousands of open source repositories out there, and also on all the Amazon.com repositories. So this is how it learned to be a code reviewer through machine learning. It supports currently Java and Python and has integration with GitHub, Bitbucket, and CodeCommit. Now, don't quote me on this. Maybe things will evolve over time. If it does evolve, don't worry. You don't need to know that level of detail. Just know about CodeGuru, CodeGuru Reviewer, and then lastly, CodeGuru Profiler. So Profiler is when your application is in production or in pre-prod, and it helps understand the runtime behavior of your application and to look at what consumes excessive CPU capacity, for example, on the logging routine. So it will allow you to identify and remove code inefficiencies, improve the application performance, for example, reduce the CPU utilization, decrease compute costs, provide heap summaries, so to identify which objects are taking a lot of space in memory, anomaly detection as well in case your application behaves weirdly. It also supports applications that will be running on AWS Cloud or even on premises. And there's going to be a minimal overhead on the application to be monitored using CodeGuru Profiler. So that's it for this lecture. Just again, remember the high level of CodeGuru, CodeGuru Reviewer, and Profiler, and you should be good to go. And I will see you in the next lecture.